stop judging the little things. Every time you walk outside, every time you look in the mirror, you see your reflection, you see this, you see that. You judge every little negative thing about yourself, and you allow it to just eat away at you and ruin the rest of your day. So then, before you even know it, the beginning of your day has already caused the end of the future. And I know I'm kind of like speaking in riddles, but basically what I'm saying is that when you judge every little minute detail of yourself, you're picking away at you. You're picking away at you. And I'm not saying critiquing yourself is necessarily a bad thing in some sense, but when you go to the point where you're so fixated on just every little minute detail of yourself because you're not perfect, that you're allowing it to now eat away at who you are, is when you start going down a slippery slope, I think. And then it's not just judging the little things about yourself, it's also judging the little things about other people. When you judge every little minute detail about everyone else around you, you allow it to ruin the relationships with those people. And that can also be a very bad thing, because you're basically going out of like perfection, right? Like, you're judging these people for every little negative thing or every little thing about them, that you're not really giving them a chance. Because if they're not perfect, if they're not exactly like you, then you kick them out of your life. And I mean, you can allow whoever you want in your life, it's ultimately your decision. But I'm just saying, like, one of the things I think that a lot of people do when they get hurt is they push away everybody, even the good people. So they settle for less. And if you're in that situation to where maybe you do have really good people in your life, but you think you're not deserving of it, or you think that, well, that life isn't meant for you, and you should settle for less because that is what's for you. I'm here to tell you that is not true. I think that you have one life on this earth. You have one life to do and be with whoever you want. So why not make sure it's the best people you can be around? And I'm not saying perfect people. Like, everyone's going to make mistakes, and some mistakes are unforgivable and some are forgivable. But when you get in that mindset of any little thing that they do or any mistake they make is just a way to end it, it's just, I don't believe that. I think at that point you are looking for perfection, and you're looking for something that is not real. You're looking for someone who is not real. What you have to understand is, if you really want to like people, you also got to like them for their flaws as well. I know it sounds cliche, and people are going to be like, oh, that's so corny, but I mean, at the same time though, it's like, it's true. Even, like, I have flaws, you have flaws, your parents have flaws. Everybody's got flaws. Like, everybody's got their little thing that they're self-conscious about, insecure about, or maybe they do this certain thing that pisses people off, but they don't even realize it. And you just have to understand that, you got to give people a chance. You can't judge every little negative thing. And if they do mess up, and say, like I said before, there's mistakes that are unforgivable, and there are mistakes that are forgivable. If they mess up and say they change from it and they actually change their actions, then I say that's somebody you should keep in your life, because most people nowadays won't even do that. They make a mistake, they won't admit they're wrong, and they won't change, and they still do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Now, what is unforgivable is up to you. It just depends on what is your situation. Like, are we talking about friends here? Are we talking about significant others? Are we talking about family? Like, they also got to play in that role too. You got to base off of what kind of relationship is it. Like, obviously with significant others, you worry about cheating, but with friends, you don't really worry about cheating, right? And it just comes down to what mistakes do you think is like something that, they're pushing way beyond the boundaries where they can't even come back. And you can try and forgive all you want, but it will just never work, right? Like, maybe that unforgivable thing is backstabbing. Like, somebody talks shit about you, you can't look at them the same, no matter if they change or not. Simple things like that. But you gotta understand though, you cannot judge every little negative or every little thing about people, and when they're not perfect or they don't meet that perfect expectation, for you to allow yourself to just kick them out. Obviously, if they're not good for your life, that's up to you. You know, kick them. I personally, if they're not good in my life, there's no point for them to be in there, right? Because they benefit off of me way more than I can benefit off of them or off their friendship. And I'm not saying benefit as in like, oh, I better be getting something. I'm saying like true friendship, right? They can benefit a whole lot off my true friendship than I can theirs. I change if I'm doing something wrong, they don't, you know, things like that. And but back to what I'm saying though, like when people get hurt, they tend to push away everybody because they think that's what they deserve. And it doesn't matter if you do good or not. And when you do come across these people, if you think that there is something worth fighting for, whether this is friends or significant others or whatever, and you think there is something or someone in there that makes you want to, you know, try, I say do it. Like, I know everybody's like, you can't change people, and you can't, but I think what they need, those hurt people, is like true, genuine, like love. And that's why when people come across that, right? Because I've been in those shoes too. You know, if I get I did get backstabbed. When I got backstabbed and real people came across my way, I didn't know how to react. I really didn't. I didn't know. I was like, is this real love? Like, and I'm not saying in a weird way. I'm talking about like friends and even significant others. I was like, is this what real love is? Is this like people genuinely caring about me? Or am I just tweaking in my head? And I came to the conclusion that, you know, it was genuine care. Like, it was genuine love, care, whatever you want to say or word it. And when I realized that, you know, it was good, but at the same time, it was also bad. Because when you realize that, then you don't know how to take it. Because when you do get backstabbed or you do get done wrong, and let's say it happens to you multiple times, then when the real stuff happens, you go insane. Like, I'm not saying in a literal sense, but you tweak out. You know, you overthink everything. You're like, oh, well, all it takes is that one day where all this is all out the window, right? And if you can avoid that phase, speaking from someone who has experienced it, if you can avoid that phase, if you get hurt and someone who's real and genuine and has real love for you, they really care about you, comes across your life, just cut the phase out if you can. If you really can, do it. I'm telling you, you will save so much time, and like, it'll save your peace if you can exclude that phase out of your life. So let's say you get hurt, whether it's significant others or friends, maybe you got backstabbed, cheated on, whatever it is, and you do come across someone who's genuine. And sure, maybe at first you don't know how to take it. Maybe take that as your sign, as, you know, give this person a little bit of a chance. Like, ask yourself logically, okay, has this person done anything to hurt me? Like, is there any actual evidence that this person is truly going to come after me or use me or whatever? And if the answer is no, I say, you know, give them a chance to kind of step into your life and see what happens. And then if they keep showing up and they're showing like genuine care for you and they have not done anything to do you wrong, and you get to that point where you're like, okay, I don't know what this is. I don't know if I should accept it or if I shouldn't. I feel like everybody, doesn't matter how much you've been hurt, they know if that is genuine care. Like, they have a feeling inside of them where they're like, yes, this is genuine, like love, affection, care, whatever you want to word it. They know. It's just they're in denial. Like, that's how I was. I was like, you know, like, I know this person hasn't done anything to hurt me. I don't know why I feel this way. But maybe it is time to accept that this is genuine. Maybe it is time to cherish this. Because my big thing was, I didn't want to be loving or kind or whatever. I really didn't. Because I was so scared of it getting used against me. And I feel like that's like how a lot of guys are. Backstabbed or not. It's like, in like romantic relationships, I feel like a lot of guys, they are afraid to compliment. Because nowadays it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing to call a girl pretty. It's a bad thing to do this. It's a bad thing to cherish that you're a woman or whatever. And it's a bad thing if you respond too fast. It's a bad thing if you do this or that. And it's like all the good stuff that used to be so good is now somehow it's negative. And I think that messes with people's minds. And then so when they get into a relationship that's loving and genuine, they don't know how to take it. And they just refuse to show any love, and they think that's their way of, you know, staying in it. And my advice to you, if you're in that situation, just show genuine care for people. Like, honestly, like when people come in your life, no matter how much you've been hurt, you don't know who needs it. And when you just go out with that mindset of, okay, no matter what, I'm going to show care for this person. Obviously, you know, if you really care about them, don't fake it. I mean, that just hurts people. But if you genuinely like have feelings for them, just show it. Like, and I know it's hard, it really is. I'm not saying it's going to be like easy, but if you have genuine feelings for somebody, I say just show it. Don't hold back, because that's when you're just going to live regret. Because if something bad happens and say like you were too busy not showing love or whatever because you were afraid that somehow that was going to push them away, just ask yourself this, like, do you want to be around these people for the rest of your life if all you have to do is walk on eggshells and you can't even really love them how you want to love them? I'm telling you right now, you don't want to live like that. So you might as well get it done out of the way. If they leave you for showing affection and love, then that's not the person for you. And this also goes for friends. Like if you tell like your friend that, you know, you care about them a lot and they're like, dude, it's so fucking weird, or say some stupid shit, and then they leave you or whatever and they go for hang out with some other guys, then it's not somebody you want to be around, right? I'm just saying this because I know that's what a lot of dudes like have an issue with. It's a bad thing to be kind. It's a bad thing to be genuine. It's a bad thing to do this. It's, you know, you're putting yourself in that unmasculine territory. You know, that's not what a man would do. And it's, I mean, I don't personally believe that, but I feel like some people do. And I say, like, when you go through those tough times, you come across those really good people and you really don't know how to take it, and you sometimes self-sabotage. I say try to stay away from that phase entirely. Try to stay away from it as much as you possibly can, and just live the life that you want to live. Do you want to be known to show love, or do you want to be known for showing hate? I mean, it's up to you. It's your life, but I think you know the answer that you want. But I would just say, just skip that phase. I mean, that's really all I can give you, because going through that was really hard. It really was, because you just live your whole life worried about what, you know, every little person or every person that you meet. It's just a constant reminder. It's like, man, there's a chance I could get screwed over. And when you think like that, it really takes a toll on you mentally, and then you start just neglecting everybody that comes into your life. So if you have the ability to avoid that, no matter how hard you did get hurt, if you have the ability to avoid it, then I would say do so. If you don't, just power through it. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, just stop judging the little things in yourself and stop judging the little things in other people. Like, some people, when they get cheated on, they judge themselves. They're like, oh, well, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have gotten cheated on. And I'm here to tell you that is not your fault. If you got cheated on, I mean, I don't know your situation, but me personally, I think it's like, even if something bad was going on, a breakup is still 10 times better than just going out and hurting the person by cheating on them. If you don't like them that much that you're willing to cheat, just end the relationship. And then it solves the problem for both of you. There is literally no reason to cheat in any sense. But I'm just telling you, like, if you got cheated on, if you got backstabbed, I mean, don't let it take a toll on you too much. It just shows what people are supposed to be in your life and what people aren't. The people who do that kind of stuff, they're just not meant to be in your life, and you should take it that way. But don't use that as a way to just put this weight on your shoulders for the rest of your life, and then you never get to experience anything new. You know, the last thing you're going to do is watch your life just slowly slip away because you're giving these people the so much power behind your life. Like, you're giving them so much control over who you are because they did you wrong. And you can't let them win. You know, it's your life. You got to come out on top. So stop judging every little thing about yourself. You're going to have flaws. It doesn't matter how perfect. I don't care how many surgeries you get on your face. Sometimes when you do get surgeries, it looks even worse. So this is about looks, is about anything like that you are self-conscious about, or you look at other people and you judge every little thing. Like, naturally as people, we are going to judge. It's just a fact. But you can't get to a point where you're judging literally every minute detail that it ruins just your future. You know, you don't allow anybody in your life. You don't do this, you don't do that. You settle for less. And then when you settle for less, you ultimately, your life's getting controlled by negative moments. So don't fall into that. Avoid that phase as much as you possibly can. Accept the fact that when people do actually care about you and they come across in your life, accept it. Don't deflect it, you know? Because when you do that, I promise you that when you think about it and you're deflecting the right person that is in your life, whether it is friend or significant other, when you do deflect these people, it will only take a toll on you. Because then you'll just think, man, what if I would have just given this person a chance to be in my life? Where would I be at right now if I would have just give this person a chance? Just one chance to see where it would go. And then you're always going to think, what if this, what if that, what if that? And it's just, you don't want to live like that. So you just stop judging yourself, stop judging other people for every little thing that happens. You know, people make mistakes all the time. It's just, like I said, there's mistakes that are forgivable and there's mistakes that aren't. And you just got to ask yourself what mistakes are so bad to the point where they're just not forgivable for you. And ask yourself if they are forgivable for you. And then there's some where it's like you can forgive them, but you don't want them in your life anymore. There's those two. Ultimately, though, it's your life. Do what you want. Be around the people you want to be around. You know, don't settle for less. Don't settle for less in dating. Don't settle for less in friends. If your friends are just a bunch of losers and they're not doing anything with their life and you want to do something with your life, then maybe that's your sign to get away from them. If a guy just came across you, maybe you're a girl, and a guy came across you and asked you out, and you just know that you deserve way better, but you're in that position where you're like, oh, I don't want to accept that though, so I'm going to give him a chance. No, you don't give them a chance. As harsh as that sounds, you just don't. You don't give less a chance. Because if you give less a chance, you're only bringing yourself down even more. So sometimes it is good to play the waiting game. If there's somebody that comes across your life and say they ask you out, don't be like, oh yeah, this is my sign, I have to say yes. No. And that goes for guy and girl. If a girl asks you out, or a girl's hitting on you or whatever, does that make you liable to say yes to them? No. And I know you're probably like, well, this is obvious. Some people it's not. Some people are such people pleasers, and they're such yes men that they will say yes to these people, and they don't have this backbone to say, you know what, no, I can do better. So you just got to ask yourself, well, what do you want in a life? Are these people going to benefit that, or are they just going to push you down? Are they going to keep you back? Sometimes you can get that feeling within seconds of meeting somebody. You just get that feeling, you're like, something feels weird about this person, I don't know. You know, things like that. But like I said, it's your life. But if you're going to get anything out of this video, just understand that you don't hold yourself back so much. Don't judge yourself so much to where it gets to the point where it's ruining your day and you think you have to strive for this like perfect, you know, person. And don't expect other people to be perfect either. Like, they're going to make a lot of mistakes as well. Just don't put yourself at such a high pedestal. Like, I'm not saying don't go for goals. Go for goals. Be as good as you possibly can in life. Like, do that. But when you start getting like hooked on every little like millimeter of your life, you just hold yourself back because you're like, oh, well, then what's the point anymore? Because this little thing is all just terrible. And when you think in that way, you hold yourself back. And then when you do it to other people, well, now you're not giving people a chance to even be in your life. So even if they are good people, they could be good people, but maybe they didn't text you this one day. Maybe they didn't reach out to you this one day, but all the other days they did. But this day specifically, they didn't. And you're taking it as your sign of, oh, it's time to cut them out. And it's like, you face the problem. You communicate like a normal human. And you just tell them straightforward, be like, hey, this really bothered me, you know. And if they're good people, they'll be like, okay, you know what, I'll change. It's not like I'm changing who I am. You know, if it's what makes you happy, I'll do it. And there you go. But Stop judging yourself for every little thing down the road. Stop judging other people for every little thing down the road. You are not perfect. They are not perfect either. Allow good people into your life and just never settle for less. I don't care what you've been through. If you've been through the worst, just don't settle for less. And just because you got treated poorly, don't use it as a mistake either to, oh, well, this poor life, this bad life is meant for me. No, that is not what that means. Ultimately, you have control over your life. So, and if it helps any, I like to always bring them up. Just follow God, man. Just give him a chance. Speak to him. Give him a chance in your life, and just see what happens. You know, I'm not God. I cannot tell you what's gonna happen. But all I could say is just simply ask. You know, talk. Just have a conversation with him. And I'm not gonna lie, when you first do it, it is kind of weird. It's like, am I talking to myself? Am I talking to the wall? What's happening? Like, it's weird. But the more you do it, just like anything else, you get better at it, and it helps a lot. So give it to God, ask him questions, talk to him about your situation, and just remember, stop judging yourself for every little thing, stop judging other people for everything, and give the good people in your life a chance. And as always, life isn't too short to make a change.